Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel Devo the Codex. The topic which is under discussion today is the history of musical styles through the 20th century. Jazz. Jazz is a musical genre which is originated from the Louisiana state in African American communities in America during the late 18th and early 19th century. Improvisation is a very important part of jazz, playing what you feel in the moment. There are many different jazz styles, including ragtime, swing, cool, jazz, and bebop. Instruments used in jazz could include trumpets, piano, trombones, and the four types of saxophones: soprano, alto, tenor, and baritone. Louis Armstrong was a famous jazz musician who had a growly voice and could play the trumpet. Miles Davis was an American composer, jazz trumpet player, and band leader who played a major part in introducing new styles of jazz. He introduced the electric piano and electric bass into the band, playing in a brand new style which mixed jazz with rock. In the 1970s, jazz was influenced by Latin jazz, mixing rhythms from Latin and African countries. Instruments such as the güiro and claves were introduced. Jazz becomes less popular in the 1980s. However, there are many jazz musicians still around today, including Jamie Cullum, big band, and swing. Swing began in the late 1920s, but it was between 1935 and 1946 when big band music became the most popular music in America, also known as the swing era. A typical song played in the swing style would include a strong rhythm accompanied by wind, string, or brass instruments, also including vocals. A soloist would commonly take center stage and improvise a solo with the band in the background. Glenn Miller and Duke Ellington are two of the most famous big band leaders from this time. But the late 1940s, this type of music was less popular. Soul genre. In 1960s, soul music is a style of African American music. It was influenced by gospel singing, had lyrical melodies, a strong rhythm, and large horn sections, including saxophones, trombones, and trumpets. Popular performers included the Four Tops and Otis Redding. Rock and roll. Rock and roll in a popular music style which came from America during the late 1940s and the early 1950s. It developed out of other African American musical styles such as boogie woogie blues, country music, and gospel music. In the early 1940s, the saxophones or piano were often the lead instrument, but this was replaced with the guitar in the 50s. The classical rock and roll sound is created with one or two electric guitars, an bass guitar, string bass, and drums. A very popular rock and roll hit was "Rock Around the Clock" by Bill Haley and his Comets. rock and roll. Another famous musician from this era was Elvis Presley, who was known by many as the king of rock and roll. He had many hits such as Heartbreak Hotel and Blue Suede Shoes. Elvis recorded 40 top 10 music songs and had 18 number one hits and popular pop, and we will discuss this in our next lecture. See you soon guys, take care.